All right, chat, how are you today? Hope you're excited. I'm pumped. This is going to be a good stream because we are doing the brand new Edge of the Earth. Wait, there we go. Edge of the Earth campaign for Arkham Horror. Oh, I've heard only good things about this. Um, this is apparently a fantastic campaign, and a lot of people are really loving it, loving everything about it. So I'm excited for it. I'm excited to play through it. We got some stuff to do before we dive into all that, though. There's some other things we need to talk about because I realized I had not streamed. So my last stream was on Tuesday. So we had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I used to stream on Saturdays. I really don't anymore. It's just not a good time to stream. But we missed some news. And I feel like we need to go over that. So let's bring this up. Let's talk about this for a second. All right. Here's our news on December 9th. When was that? That was Thursday. Okay, Thursday. I guess it's always Thursdays. Fancy Flight comes out with news and stuff. But this is the big news over the past week. Lord of the Rings related. First off, huge, right? It's awesome to see that they're still doing more with this game, right? They have not given up on it. They're doing the cycles again. We'll see what cycles they pick to reprint and not. I think it will be kind of interesting which ones they decide on. But anyway, we can get into all that later. I think that's a fun discussion to have once we know more about it, right? Because I think there's some that make a lot of sense to do, especially the older ones where they don't really print them that often, and some of the newer ones it doesn't really make as much sense. But anyway, let's talk about this really fast because there's, basically 4 different decks, right? A Rohan deck, a Gondor deck, the elves, and dwarves. So pretty general type architect decks that most people would build, right? And if you hang around the community long enough, you would see those decks pop up. So I was going through, and because I own all the cards, I wasn't super interested in this. So I was like, okay, yes, dwarves, okay, yeah, okay, whatever. All right, the elves make sense. Yep, all this fun stuff. And I basically scrolled down. Actually, I don't even know if it was this one or not. Was it this one? Oh, okay, here we go. So right here it goes. Note, for longtime fans of Lord of the Rings, if you already own all of the game's expansions, you will not find any new cards to any of these starter decks. However, you may find it helpful to have one of these decks on hand when you introduce a friend to the game, since these decks have been tailor-made for new players. Which already says a lot to me that, like, realistically in Rings DB, from probably C-Stand, there's going to be decks that are just way stronger, right? Way stronger, work a lot better. Which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I thought was kind of interesting is, again, there's no new cards. While that is technically true, there are no new cards with this. There are some stuff. So I missed when I first glanced over this the first time. Somebody had pointed me out on our Discord, which, by the way, down in our description down below, there's a link to our Discord. Hop in there right now. Even as I'm talking, we're talking about LCGs right now, trying to catch up on things, deck build, all that fun stuff. It's a great place to hang out if you like LCGs. But right here, Dane. Dwarf Noble. Did not catch that the first time, and people who pay more attention than I do did, right? So for the first time, he's got the keyword Noble. Not a huge difference thing, but it is different, right? I guess it's essentially errated and changed. So that was kind of interesting. There's a few that have different keywords like that. It seems like Noble is going around more some of the earlier decks. One of the things that's interesting, and you don't see it unless you look at these cards. And if you look at these cards, you only can really see it if you really zoom in. Let's get way in there. All right, that's probably close enough. Do you see it right there? The response. Elrond's Council is now a response card. Makes no sense. Like, literally no. Like, I don't. We talked about this for a while in Discord. I'm trying to get some smarter people at Lord of the Rings to explain to me how this makes sense, because here's the card as it stands now. Here's that big enough for you all. All right, so it's an action. If you control a unique Noldor character, give another character +1 until the end of the phase and lower your threat. So is it just a response to controlling a character? Then like, why is it changing? To me, that makes like it logically makes no sense. It's an action, right? If you control another character, you are, as an action, giving another character +1. Unless people are playing it that it only works for that one action and now it's constant, and that's the idea. That's my only thought, right? Is that it's responding constantly. So you're always giving the +1. Well, no, it already says that until the end of the phase. So I don't know. To be honest, it still doesn't make 100% sense to me. So, anyway, that's one of the weird things that are going on with this. Obviously, we can't see all the cards yet, so it'll be interesting to see what other ones have different keywords or slightly different word changes. I think that'll be important when it comes out. So at the end of the day, people have asked me, am I getting them? At first I was like, no, I don't need to. I don't know. I want to see how many cards have changes to them, to be completely honest. That interests me. I think that interests me, and to the point that I would want to see what's going on there, because I'm not, I don't know. See, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens with these keywords if there's anything big. And there are a few cards that got changed later on that had like limit once per phase or turn or round or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see if those got changed, because there was a lot of not errors, but I guess misprints or whatever early on in the game. So anyway, that was the big news. But more importantly, I think this is really kind of brilliant for Lord of the Rings, in the sense that people were kind of scared of this game because the deck building is really intense. It is, a 10-11-year-old game where the deck building can be a bit rough, right? It's not, I don't know if intuitive is the right word or whatever, but it can be a bit much. I think that's fair to say for this game. So anyway, they're making improvements on it. They're doing more to it. It's fantastic. I am super excited for that. So anyway, that's what I wanted to cover really fast before we got in here. I think on most of my streams, I'm going to talk about some other stuff, before we actually get into the game moving forward, just to kind of talk to the community and all that fun stuff. So that is that. With that being said, I don't think there's anything else going on. So let's head to the table and start this game. All right, let me just set this stuff up. Set up all my screens. All right, here we go. So now this is going to be fun, because there are there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of setup for this. Not a lot of setup. There's a decent amount of setup. So we're going to read through the story. So this should go without saying. I am going to be spoiling things, obviously, because I am playing the game. So if you do not want to know anything, probably shouldn't watch this, though I do like the viewers, so I appreciate you taking the time to view this. But obviously this is going to spoil things. I'm planning to only do the first scenario. I don't know if anything crazy happens or anything where like the first scenario is 5 minutes, right? And you go to the next one. We'll see. But the game plan is only to do the first scenario. So this game has already come out for like a week or two now. I think it's a week now. Something like that. 10 days. So hopefully most people are done with the first scenario. Like I said, I've only heard good things about this game and the way this is done. So we'll see how this goes. Okay. So there's a bunch of stuff in here. There's checkpoints. We'll get into all that later. Whatever. Let's get into the good stuff, right? Let's get into a prologue here. And chat, if at any point in time, music's too loud, too soft, whatever, let me know. I will turn up, I will change it. It's all Christmas music. I know it's supposed to be like probably should be themed for Arkham, but it's not. It's Christmas time, so we'll listen to Christmas music. And friendly reminder, as always, if you can at any point, make sure to hit the like button, make sure you subscribe and all that fun stuff. And then in the description, there's a bunch of links too. Check all those links out when you're free and can. So, alrighty, let me get my water ready. Let's get ready to rock and roll. So, prologue. I am forced into speech because men of science have refused to follow my advice without knowing why. It is altogether against my will that I tell my reasons for opposing this contemplated invasion of the Antarctic, with the vast fossil hunt and its wholesale boring and melting of the ancient ice cap. And I am more reluctant because my warning may be in vain. doubt of the real facts, as I must reveal them, is inevitable. Yet if I suppressed what will seem extravagant and incredible, that there would be nothing left. H.P. Lovecraft at the Mountains of Madness. Hey Ryan, good to see you, man. Appreciate you stopping by. How's it going? Things are good here. I'm excited to jump into this campaign and do it. So, but things are good. Things are good. Well, actually, this past week I had to travel for work. That was terrible. I hate being on the road again. So I'm happy to be back with that. But I hope you're doing well. All right, Prologue 1. You understand now? Yes. Why this expedition must be stopped? Professor William Dyer sits across from you at his office desk. A wealth of academic papers and scientific journals lies sprawled between you, including Dyer's own lengthy account of his journey to the Antarctic. Up until the publication of this revised report, the alleged truth, the university's last expedition to Antarctica yielded very little in the way of scientific discoveries. At Dyer's request, you'd read through the new report of what really happened beyond the Mountains of Madness. I was thinking Mansions of Madness. I was like, oh, they could do a call out to their own game, but Mansions. Never mind. As he dubbed them, you scarcely would have believed any of it if you weren't for your bevy of photographs and drawings that came along with it. Evidence of mangled, dissected bodies, of perplexing five-pointed snow graves, of strange specimens found half buried in the ice, and finally aerial shots of the jagged black peak described in Dyer's tale. Dyer has called on you to help convince his colleagues to abandon their planned follow-up expedition. His student, Danforth, his name Dan, whatever, the only other member of the expedition to reach the alien stone city described in Dyer's report, paces back and forth by the entrance of Dyer's office, muttering nonsensically to himself while you consider their strange tale. You're still unsure what to make of all of this. On one hand, Dyer's concern seems genuine, and his account is filled with such detail and specificity, that you find it difficult to doubt its authenticity. And yet, there's no way it could all be true. An ancient city in the ice, built by primordial beings, so-called elder things? How could such things be real? Danforth mumbles something about a nameless black pit as you place Dyer's report back on his desk. Professor gazes at you with sleepless, bloodshot eyes. Well, Dyer asks, will you help us stop this madness? Will you make them see reason? Alright, so we got two choices. We can choose one. Choice 1. Let me know what you think, chat. Choice 1 or choice 2? Choice 1. I believe you. But if what you say is true, should we not investigate these findings further? And the other one is, I'm sorry, but this seems too wild to be true. So basically, do we trust him or do we not? I think that's, I'm trying not to look ahead. I gotta also say too, the new spiral around books. Love this. I love it so much. All right. And I also know my chat's delayed a decent amount, so see if anyone responds. Because I mean, I'm leaning toward just believing him, right? Because, you know, he's crazy. He's got drawings. Seems like legit. So let's do that. Let's go with Prologue 2. Excuse me. And see where that leads us. So, Prologue 2, which is, I believe you, but if what you say is true, should we not investigate these findings further? Dyer lets out an anxious breath and relents. I suppose I might have said the same thing once, but now, after what I've seen, a shudder courses through the man's aging body. You're venturing somewhere humanity does not belong. I am starting to believe that scholars such as ourselves can only continue to probe the depths of science for so long before we are laid low by what we find. Or by what finds us, Danforth chimes in. Dyer glances at his student, studying his expression. Then turns his attention back to you. If you go on this journey with Dr. Kensler, the lot of you may never return. Will you not reconsider? You explain that while there is surely significant danger in your expedition, Dr. Amy Kensler, the scientist leading the new trek to Antarctica, has taken precautions to ensure it does not meet the same end as Dyer's. More importantly, it is the only way to understand the threats they encountered, and the only way to prepare if such threats are unearthed by others, less cautious scientists. Yes, I confess I had the same worry, he replies. We are unlikely to convince the greater scientific community, I'm afraid. Perhaps it would be better to return and learn more about what we saw. Danforth nods. I agree. How do we know what we saw, if anything, more than the overactive imaginations of two explorers with a queer fascination for the bizarre and macabre? Of Arthur Gordon Pym's ill-fated journeys. Dyer's eyes narrow at the student. The knowledge reflected in the dark eyes chills you to the core. You say such things, and yet I dare say you did not see what I saw. The student scoffs. You are not the one who glimpses that mirage at the end of the mountainside. I am not referring to a mirage, Danforth. I am referring to what I saw in you, Dyer retorts. The things you said on the aeroplane, not airplane, aeroplane. The look on your face I'll never forget. Silence pervades the room as Danforth returns to his corner in language and his own self-doubt. Dyer plays with you, whatever the case may be. Is there nothing I can say to deter you? You ponder for a brief moment, then shake your head. There's too much at stake, especially if Dyer's account turns out to be true. All right, then. Dyer concludes, since you have no clue what you are getting into, I suppose we have no choice but to come. You will tell Dr. Kensler that she wins. We are ready to leave within the week. You shake his hand and make for the door. I hope, for all your sakes, that Danforth is right. So in your campaign log, record the investigators convince Dyer to allow the expedition. And we add one hooded token to the chaos bag. Oh my gosh, they're way over there. Hold on. Hooded token. Right there. It's in. Skip to Prologue 4. Oops. Alright, Prologue 4. Oh, okay. There's cards I have to get. Did not realize that. You peer up at the overcast sky, hoping it does not forebode things to come. Only a sliver of sunlight peeks through the clouds. You shudder and pull your coat closed over your shoulders. Then continue onward to the edge of the Boston Harbor dock. Gather the cards of the expedition team encounter set. As you read the rest of this prologue, each of the members of the expedition team is introduced. Find the story asset from the encounter set that matches their name. Oops. Matches their name and acquaint yourselves with the card. So basically, all of these people, and there's some other cards. So we'll take all these people out. They're right there. We're good. All right. Lots more reading. So, standing in front of the plankway leading up to the deck of the Theodosia is Dr. Amy Kensler, professor of biology at Miskatonic University. The no-nonsense scientist has been a fixture of the university sciences department for over a decade. Without so much as peering up from her clipboard, she crosses your name as you approach. Good of you to make it on time, Mr. Ellsworth. Oh, I will I? Standing next to her with a chuckle, he offers you his hand. Oh, sorry, to take his luggage. Roland Ellsworth. Oh no, Rawld Ellsworth at your service. By way of introduction, Dr. Kensler explains, Mr. Ellsworth has been on over a dozen expeditions and becomes highly recommended. I'm sure his expertise will be invaluable in the weeks to come. Ellsworth rolls his eyes. His expedition, yes, and his willingness to be used as manual labor, he adds with a chuckle. So, come on, Ellsworth, shouts another voice from the ship. A gruff-looking man with a beard emerges, motioning for Ellsworth to hurry. We got a ton of work to do before we can embark. A little busy, Cookie, Ellsworth shouts back in reply. Then he turns to you and remarks over his shoulder. Do not mind him. Cookie is a bit of an intense fellow, but he's all right. The name's Frederick. Not Cookie. The gruff man barks back. James Fredericks. Sometimes I swear I'm the only one here who's ready for the damn trip, he mutters angrily. And didn't anyone ever tell you it's bad luck to name a ship after someone who died at sea? Oh, okay. Then the voice calls down the dock of the ship. Cookie, if you could be so kind as to lower your voice, some of us are trying to work up here. The man responds with a grunt. So like we're just like learning everybody at this point. Holy cow. The man responds with a grunt and ducks back inside his ship, rolling his eyes. You crane your head upward to see a young woman leaning over the railing of the ship's deck. Her long brown hair tied in a thick ponytail that dangles around her neck. Hey, you made it, she calls out. Dr. Kensler is pretty excited that you come along, looking forward to working with you. Without looking at her clipboard, Dr. Kensler mumbles, Miss Takada Hiroko is our aeroplane mechanic. As with the previous expedition, we will be constructing our planes on site. No need to worry, she may be the youngest in her field, but she knows what she's doing. More of the crew will begin to arrive one by one. The first man in his 30s with a wispy blonde beard and bright green eyes. Mr. Avery Claypool. Dr. Kensler introduces you to the man, and two of you shake hands. Mr. Claypool is an associate of Mr. Ellsworth. He will be serving as our guide to the Atlantic. Weather permitting, Claypool. Honestly, we'll be lucky if we can even get off the ice shelf. I'm confident with your skills will make it as far as Dyer and Lake did. Holy cow, that's a lot more reading. There's a lot to this. Holy cow. Alright, we're getting there. This is what I'm afraid of, Claypool mutters, walking briskly past Kensler and up the plankway. On his way up, he passes Ellsworth, and the two freeze, locking eyes. You could swear that the temperature lowers several degrees as the two brush one another without a single word. Alright, so they hate each other. They were usually on better terms, Dr. Kensler says under her breath, but recently fell into some issue or another. They had better learn to live with their differences. They were unable to avoid one another for quite some time after all. You watch Claypool's gaze wanders back to Ellsworth for just a fraction of a second before he turns away angrily and enters the ship. The next to arrive is a woman with warm brown skin and weary eyes. Along with her luggage, she carries a rather large, bright red medical kit. Hey, a doctor. She extends her hand, and you cannot help but notice the nervous tremble in Dr. Kensler's hand as she shakes it. Thank you for joining us, Mala. Oh, Amy, somebody has to keep you alive, she replies. There is a moment of awkward silence as Dr. Kensler glances up at the woman, then down at her feet. Her cheeks tingle red. Right, well, then, she remarks, and continues up on the walkway. All right, so there's a love interest there. That's fun. I'm going to assume, right? I mean, that's definitely like a love interest thing. Dr. Kensler clears her throat once she is out of earshot. Dr. Mala Sinha is our physician, she explains. It took some convincing for her to join us, so try not to abuse her expertise with inconsequential prompts. Frostbite will be a very real concern, as will gangrene and hypothermia. Try to stay on her good side. You're unsure if Dr. Kensler's joking. Why not, right? Like, that'd be cool if we use her too much and she's like, nah, peace out. I'm done. All right. A man's voice pierces with sudden silence along the clamor of a dog barking. On you. Damn it, on you. Don't run off like that, he shouts. That will be Mr. Ashevak, Dr. Kensler says, scratching off another name from our list. Moments later, you watch as a large gray-furred dog bounds toward you, its tongue hanging out of its mouth in excitement. Also, props to whoever edited this book, because toward is the right way to use that word, not towards, like everyone else does. They must have hired an editor. It's nice. Its tongue hanging out in its mouth in excitement. You lean over and pet the dog, running your hand along her thick, long fur. The man finally catches up to the dog, huffing with effort. On you. Come on. I thought I trained you better than this, he says, catching his breath. Alaya Eshvek is our dog handler. He's in charge of taking care of the 44 sled dogs we are bringing along with us, not to mention their feeding and training. Anyu here makes 45. He corrects her before turning to shake your hand. Also, we'll be holed up on the ship for a while, so let's drop the formalities. Elia is fine. Alright. As the man and his enormous dog board the ship, you ask Dr. Kensler if she received the letter you sent regarding Professor Dyer's concerns. I'm well aware of her support, Dr. Kensler replies, but as I have told him in time and time again, I have no intention of ceasing or postponing this expedition. Just then, footsteps approach behind you, interrupting the conversation. Speak of the devil, Dr. Kensler mutters. Looking up from a clipboard, you turn to find none other than Professor William Dyer and his student Danforth, each toting several bags of luggage. I'm glad you finally decided to join us, William. Amy, he acknowledges, I am not here because I believe in your mission statement. I am here to make sure you and your companions do not get themselves killed. You have no idea what you're walking into. Then you have ample enough opportunity to educate us along the way. She turns to address Danforth, who is staring up at the tanker ship with a pained expression. Danforth, I hope you understand that you are under no obligation to come along this expedition. After everything you went through, she trails off, her eyebrows raised in worry, atypical of her usual cold demeanor. I appreciate your concern, Dr. Kensler, but I'm looking forward to the opportunity to return to Antarctica. I need to be there again. She follows his gaze to the Theodosia, which bobs steadily up and down on the choppy Atlantic waters. Very well. We are still working to get all of the equipment on board, or aboard. Mr. Ellsworth, can you help find your rooms? You nod and begin boarding, along with the remaining crew and the rest of the expedition team, mostly students at the university, along with several unaffiliated explorers and several researchers in a variety of fields. Once more, you spy the scant sliver of sunlight. That's a lot of S's above before it's smothered by gray clouds. These 9 characters will be partners throughout the campaign. Their various talents will be crucial in the scenarios to come. However, if you wish for this expedition to be successful, it is imperative that you keep them healthy and sane. In the expedition team section of the campaign log, you can view the status of each member of the expedition team. As they are injured or begin to question their sanity, under the campaign log accordingly, or update the log. You'll be instructed when to do so. As each team member is killed or driven insane, cross them off the list. When you're ready, begin to scenario 1. Oh my god, there's intros. Holy cow. Okay. So we met a lot of people, which is interesting enough, right? I like the system that they're kind of drawing out here, so that's cool. Alright. Holy cow. Alright, we're almost there. So, it has been a long 8 weeks since you left Boston, and not without its toil. The Theodosia followed much of the same route as predecessors, the Arkham and the Miskatonic, first sailing southward along the east coast and through the Panama Canal. Before venturing toward the Antarctic Circle, as the weather grew steadily colder, icebergs became more and more of a problem for the ship to navigate. But the crew's expertise and the logs of previous captains who made the same journey, you make good time. Soon enough, you spy the mist-covered peaks of the mountains Erebus and Terror ahead. A nice name for a mountain, right? Which is Mountain Terror. So as you approach the coast, Dr. Kensler and the rest of the team meet aboard the deck to discuss your plans. We'll use the same breeches buoy system as before to unload supplies onto the ice shelf, she explains. Mr. Fredericks, Mr. Ellsworth, and Mr. Claypool, you'll be taking one of the smaller boats on the shelf to find us a landing zone. Mr. Gada, once we have the camp up and running, those aeroplanes are your first priority. Mr. Ashvac, I expect those sledges to help move supplies from the landing to camp. As soon as we reach the ice shelf, there's going to be a lot of work to get done in a short amount of time. I don't want you to have to wrangle 3 dozen dogs on top of that, so get them in order. He rolls his eyes. The Professor Dyer speaks up. I suspect the lack of ice melting and boring equipment means that we aren't taking any mineral samples. He asks rhetorically. No need. Although if we happen to find a suitable place, we might as well claim it. That said, our mission is solely to corroborate the findings you made with Danforth and to bring back more evidence of this ancient species, these elder things, as you dub them. A living specimen would be ideal, of course. Such a strange and alien beast trapped in ice throughout the ages. It would be like discovering a live woolly mammoth, I may imagine. A living specimen? You do know these things killed several of Lake's men, right? And how do you propose we capture one? She blinks. You're the expert, William. You tell me. Oh, good. They're super friendly toward each other, so that's good. Dyer walks off shaking his head. I knew this was a bad idea. All right. You all have your assignments. Reach land before the hour. Get ready. Oh, and there will be enough manual labor to go around. All right. Part 1. So, after 2 weeks and many hours of hard work, the expedition is ready to make its first foray into the cold, dead continent of Antarctica. Miss Takada, along with her 2 other mechanics, have successfully assembled 3 aeroplanes along the flat ice shelf. Perfect place for takeoff and landings. Your team congregates by the aeroplanes along with several days worth of camping equipment. The plan is to fly 2 planes over the vast jagged peaks, taking aerial photos of the stone cities mentioned in Dyer's account. That is, if such things really exist. If we can find a safe landing zone, we will set up a temporary outpost, Dr. Kensler explains. Dyer, Danforth, Fredericks, and Claypool will stick around while the rest of us head back to the base camp. We can use the sledges to ferry supplies to and from the camps. Otherwise, we'll simply scout ahead. Alright, so if Winifred Habeck is one of the campaign investigators, proceed to intro 2. Nope. So ours is Lily Chen, which I haven't even talked about yet, but whatever. So intro 3. Buckle up. Your pilot says. You climb onto the seat and get ready for the flight. One at a time, 2 planes take off from the ice shelf, soar into the opaque fog. The rough Antarctic wind and low visibility make the poor flying conditions But nonetheless, you venture through the beautiful and deceptive polar mirages over miles of icy waste. Dr. Kensler peers out the window as you pass magnificent views of distant mountains. They're beautiful. These are nothing. Wait until you see, and then the storm hits. Oh boy. The winter winds are as sudden and fierce that they almost force you out of your seat. Both planes shunt to and fro of the horrid winds, and you hear several of the passengers shouting behind you. Oh boy. Alright, what the heck? Oh no, I'm sorry. What the hell? We have to head back, Claypool shouts. These winds will force us down if we keep going. We're so close, Dr. Kensley growls bitterly. We don't have a choice, he yells. Let's head back, but it's too late. The plane lurches toward the ground, and the pilot struggles in vain to regain control. All the passengers notice a dark shape in the sky at the same time you do. It's a massive shadow, like a curtain drawn across the mountains, or perhaps the tattered wings of a behemoth of some type. I can't even pronounce that. Hey, Adrian, good to see you. Yes, she is strong, and I'm pumped for her. So it scowls at you with dreadful hollow eyes, then reaches out, and you proceed to intro 4. As you regain consciousness, intense pain sears through your blistering skin. Through the haze, you can barely hear muffled shouting outside the burning husk of the aeroplane. Somebody grips your arm and pulls you from the wreckage. More shouts erupt around you. There's another. Quickly, grab my hand. You rise to your feet with a world of effort. Miraculously, you're only bruised and winded. Most of the other team members are similarly unharmed, except gather the 9-story asset cards from the expedition team encounter set. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I guess they're stories. These don't seem like stories. They seem like hold on. 9-story assets from the expedition team encounter set. Shuffle them and choose one at random. Chosen character was killed in the plane crash. In the expedition team section, cross off their name. Oh, that stinks. Alright, so I don't think these are, I think these are actually ally cards, not the story ones. I don't even know where the story ones are. I'm not gonna go too crazy. So what we'll do is we'll just use the ally cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And we'll just shuffle this out. We'll pick one at random and see what we get. See who doesn't make it. Alright, our dead character is, we'll do third from the top. But yes, Adrian, Lily Chan is strong. I like her a lot. I built a terrible deck with her the first time. But I'm excited for this one. 1, 2. Our dead character is Staccato Hero. Oh no, the love interest. No, isn't that's who it is, right? Ugh. I don't want her to die. Alright, well, that stinks a lot. Oh no, wait, no, it was Mala. That's right, the love interest is Mala, not Takata. Alright, like some kind of cruel, morbid joke, Takata lies contorted and dead on the contraption of her own making. The team is silent for some time as the realization sets in. Elia looks to the sky in confusion. What the hell was that thing? A shadow. It was nothing like I've ever seen before. Danforth responds with a quiet mutter, only barely audible over the hollow winds, the wings, the eyes in darkness. A windowless solid with 5 dimensions. He looks up when he realizes the rest of the team's staring at him blankly. We have no time to mourn, Dr. Kensler declares. It will be nightfall soon enough. Laya shakes his head in protest. Come on, Kensler. Takata is dead. Give us half a second, would you? No, she is right, Professor Dyer chimes in. If we do not want to end up like her, we have to move. Cool. Well, I mean, not cool, because I think she's done. Each investigator may choose one available member of the expedition team who's not crossed off to join them, with their story asset of the chosen character in the play. Okay, so hold on, let me. Well, I guess it would be this one. So let's do what we got. We got Avery Claypool, Roland, James Cookie. Is there somebody that's going to investigate it? That's what I really want. That's an invading person. Danforth. Oh, Kensler. Spend 1 secret and exhaust her. Investigate with a base skill of 5. Yeah, we're going to get Dr. Emily Kensler because she seems legit. So she gets, we will put her right there for now, next to our card. She gets 3 secrets. Oops. Let's do that. 1, 2, 7. Alright, 3 secrets for Dr. Emily Kenza. Gather all the cards from the encounter decks, blah, blah. Set aside creatures of the ice, which I already did. Put the following locations into play. And we did a bunch of locations out here. We just followed the map example it has. Each investigator begins at crash site. So we're there. Set each skittering nonsense enemy aside out of play, which we did. Set Terror of the Stars aside out of play. Check the difficulty level. We're on normal, so. Shuffle each of the Takali Lee weakness cards together and form the deck. Place this near the agenda card, which we did. And then shuffle everything up. And then we are finally there, which is to read the agenda and cards. Okay. That was a lot of reading. That was a lot of reading. So we'll shuffle this up. We'll read the agenda and act really fast. And then we'll shuffle our deck and we should be good to go. Alright. Also, I know there's a lot of errors pointing a lot of different ways. But the reason being is because this card's actually supposed to be down here, but you can't really see it then. So, cheating a little bit. Not cheating, just rearranging. I guess we could move it all up a little bit too. Alright, that's shuffled up. So, agenda. This isn't exactly how you imagined your first foray into the Antarctic wilds. The stinging cold and lashing frozen winds will only get worse. So force, after location is entered by an investigator for the first time, put into play each set aside location connected to that location. Ow. So I guess you're supposed to only start here, but it expands out. Whatever. We just did it all now. That's fine. Okay. Search for the campsite. You're going to have to find your way back to camp, and soon you have to you'll have to make do camping in the wilds. Each investigator is at the same location, and the location has no clues on it. You resign. So you set up camp, and each investigator resigns. Objective: find somewhere safe to set up camp. If each undefeated investigator has resigned, advance. The higher the shelter value of the location they resign at, the better. Okay, well that's good to know. Alrighty, so we were at the crash site. It was a risky business sailing of the Antarctic in a single aeroplane without any line of bases. So this is 0 clues. We can test, knowledge. We can test intellect and agility to scavenge from the wreckage. If successful, we got some campaigns, or we got some stuff. I think that goes there. Alright. We're there. There's no clues. The shelter value is 0. So, you know, probably not great. I don't know where we're going to want to go. So some of these places have additional costs. Actually, a lot of them do. So we're going to need clues. So kind of work around where we are. I don't know if Treacherous Path is really where we want to go. No, we'll figure it out. So, finally get the start going. So 3, 4, 5 resources, and we draw 5 cards. 2, 4, 5. Arcane Studies. So that one gets thrown out. Overpower. Holy Rosary. Okay. So we definitely want Holy Rosary. I like Overpower. I like Arcane Studies asset. That's not a bad card. Alright, this is pretty good. So we get a 1. Get a 1. Unexpected Courage. Shuffle these 2 back in. Alright, that's not a bad hand. I'm okay with that. So, Lily Chen, martial artist. We're really good at fighting, and I don't think there's really anything to fight yet. Let's see how that goes. Quick. Okay. So, let's go. 3 moves. Jeez Louise, I keep hitting that table. Let's figure out what we want to do. We kind of can like really go in the small area that we're in right now. So it's basically we can go like here. Wait, can the crash site go there? Hold on, let me make sure. Yes. So the crash site. Oh, wait, can't go there. Shoot. Crash site could basically go 3 spots. Here, here, and here. Those are options. And then once we get to each of these spots, they are also interconnected with each other. So it's not like I have to keep going through the crash site, which is good. So let's go to the treasure's path. Doesn't sound great. I like penguins, and that seems like a logical thing to do, right? This Remnants of Lakes camp seems like a good place to end up. I guess you're not really supposed to be looking at this and planning that far ahead, but whatever. I set up the map for it. So. All right, so let's go to Frozen Shores. So they are now stretched off the east. Gosh, I can't read that from here. They're now stretched off to the east, below white line of the Great Ice Barrier. All right, 1 clue. Frozen Shore gets +2 Shroud if an encounter card is attached to it, which none are yet. That was our first step, was moving. So let us investigate, right? Well, do we want to investigate? So I think we're actually going to play some cards. So the first one I want is the Holy Rosary. Let's see. Would you be able to see if it's down there, just to kind of remind you all? And that costs 2, so we're going to put that into play. And then we're also going to put in another asset, Arcane Studies. So basically when we spend a resource, we get +1 either intellect or willpower, whichever we choose, for the next skill test. So I'm hoping that we can start bumping up some stuff with it. All right. That is all 3 of our moves. There are no enemies on the board that we have to worry about. So let's reset everything. Do our upkeep. 1, 2, 3. So now we go up to 4. Draw a card. Spectral Razor. And then we place Doom on the agenda token. Draw a bad card. Let me just shuffle these one more time to make sure that they're good. Okay. Bad card. Revelation. Test 3. What is that? Willpower. For each Frost token revealed during the test, take 1 horror. If you fail, take 2. All right. So we're testing 3 willpower. We have 4 off the bat. I feel pretty good with 4. I mean, 2 would be like safe, like a 5 versus that, but let's do it. Let's see what happens. -2. We lost. So if you fail, take 2 horror. Not good. I've already seen some horrors. So that's all set. All right, our 3 turns. Let us oh wait, hold on, maybe. Oh, this would take 1 horror, so that's it. All right, so it's got 2 shroud. We have intellect of 2. I want to make sure I get this, so I am going to use water protection as just the resource and throw away a resource using this card. So we're straight up testing 4 to 2. Right? We really want to get this. -1, we're good. So we got our clue. Got one of our clues. That was our first turn. So as additional cost to move here to enter this, investigators at your location must spend 1 clue with other group. I don't know if it's better to like try to go somewhere else. Well, we can go to the... No, let's go to the good places, right? I think that's the right move. So we're going to move down for our second turn. We're going to use our 1 clue token to come down to the broad snowdrifts. I am essentially only picking this because of the penguins. I'm not going to lie. So on the lofty ice barrier in the background, myriads of grotesque penguins squawk and flap their fins. That's mean. All right. When you successfully investigate broad snowdrifts, add 1 frost token to the chaos bag. Discover 3 additional clues at broad swifts. Limit once per game. So I'm probably not going to do that because it's only a shroud of 1. Like, we should straight up be able to do that, right? That shouldn't be that hard. 2 clues. Alright, let's just test this straight up, right? 2 versus 1. This will be our last action. Automatic success. And then we could... Oh, wait, I completely forgot. I actually didn't fail it. No, I did. Because that was that. I actually have +1 buck willpower. I forgot her discipline card. So we succeeded. I really didn't have to worry. Get 1 clue. Perfect. Perfect. So, no enemies. Don't have to worry about that. So we reset. Gain a resource. Gain a card. We got our dragon pole, which is sweet. See if we need it. I don't know how many enemies. Well, I think all the enemies are outside right now. So we don't have to quite worry about it just yet. So that's that. Got our dragon pole, got a resource. We refreshed everything. This goes up to 2. Get our bad card. Through the Ice. Hazard. Revelation. Attached to the nearest location without a copy of Through the Ice. As an additional cost for you to enter or leave attached location except by a scenario card effect. Test 2... What is that? Agility. If you fail, cancel the effects of the move. Take 1 damage and 1 horror and discard Through the Ice. Alright, we will do that on the penguins. So we move, but we have 3 agility, so I feel pretty solid about that. Not too worried about that, but we'll see. All right, first move we're gonna test again. 3 willpower or 3 knowledge, intellect, whatever. I'll never get it right. Versus 1. What's the HUD? -2. If you fail, blah 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 blah. Doesn't matter because we didn't fail. Perfect. All right, so we're going to want to go into the snow graves, which should technically be further down. I just have it up here so it fits on the screen. As additional cost for you to enter this location, investigators must spend +2. So we're going to move there. Now we have to test 2 agility. Do we want to... Actually, I think I'm going to do unexpected courage. So I'm testing 4. Versus the, or 5 versus the 2. So frost. Does that lead to anything? I don't think frost tokens are a thing yet. Okay, so the first frost token revealed from the chaos bag during a skill test has the following effect. -1, reveal no token. If it's another one, you immediately end the reveal token step and the skill test and resolve is automatically filled. Okay, so we're at -1. Reveal another one. 0. Okay, so we're good. So we beat the test. We have to spend 2 clues. 1, 2. Alright, so this is a shelter 5. Pretty solid, right? That's a pretty solid shelter. Okay, so this gets 2 clues. After you discover the last clue from Snowgraves, shuffle the top 3 cards of the Tekali deck into your deck without looking at them. In the supplies recovered section, record green soapstone. So we never did this and got the spare parts. We're gonna have to start sleeving those cards too, so we'll get to that when we start drawing. We have 1 action left. Ugh. Into shelter 5, which is nice, right? Like I said, the higher the number, the better. I really kind of want to get into here, but it costs a 4, which stinks. All right. Yeah, let's just test this. So it's 3 versus 3. And let's do one of these secrets. So she's going to investigate with a base skill of 5. So 5 versus the 3. What's that? -3. For each point you fail, discard the top card of your deck. So we lost 1. That stinks a lot. All right, let's refresh. Can't believe she lost with a base skill of 5. No enemies we have to worry about, so we get a card. Another Dragon Pole. We get 1. That goes up to 3. And we get our back card. Attached to your location. Each investigated location gets -1 basically on everything. At the end of the round, discard this card. So okay, let's do I guess let's do Dr. Emily Kensler again, right? We'll try that one more time. Try this. It's against 3. Okay, so we succeeded barely. So it's 5 against 3, but we don't get the -1 because it's each investigator. Dr. Emily is an ally, not an investigator. I assume that's how that works. Okay. I guess let's do it once more. She's just gonna be completely for this. X is half the shelter value of your location. Oh my gosh, that's 3, so that's 2, and I lost. I failed, I should say, not lost. Okay, that's a real big pain. So we need to get this last one. Let's just draw a card with our last turn. Healing words, sorry. We refresh. This card gets discarded at the very end. Alright, so we get another token, or we get another resource and another card. What do we got? Fearless. Cool. This is up to 4. This is now moved on. We might be just like sitting here. Cold welcome. So hold on, come see this. One of the other team members shouts as you trudge ahead through the snow. You turn back and examine what they have found. Second set of tracks in the snow, but smaller mishaps. Almost impossibly snow. When the hell could have made these tracks? One of your party asks. You stand dumbfounded. Very little wildlife exists out here in the frozen wastes. And these tracks match nothing you've ever seen before. Nothing you can even imagine. You don't have to question what could make such tracks for long. The shape emerges from the erupting snow, twisted to form like a splotch of ink spilled upon the canvas of reality. It makes a strange, almost familiar cry that is eaten by the howling wind. Then with a terrifying speed, it rushes towards you. Spawn a set-aside skittering nonsense. Okay. At the lead investigator's location, shuffle the remainder of the set-aside skittering nonsense enemies into... and the set-aside creatures in the ice encounter deck into the encounter deck. So, this and the creatures get shuffled in. He is at our location, so he is engaged with us. The 2/2/4 does 1 damage, 1 mental. All right. Alrighty, here we go. Done with this one. So the next one, Into the White. Something dwells beneath the ice. Something you've never seen or heard of before. Not even William Dyer's horrifying report. Something unreal. After a location is entered by an investigator for the first time. Oh, did I not do something with the first time? Oh, no, I did. Okay. Put each set aside connecting one. So that's up to 7. We have an enemy that's attached to us, or attacking us now. So that's, cool. And, yeah. At least we're investigating 3/3, but we need to fight this thing. It's only got 2 life, which is good. It means we can punch it. So Dragon Pole doesn't make sense to use quite yet. So we're swinging for 4 against its 2. So let's just straight up do that, right? 4 against its 2. Let's try to defeat this skittering nonsense. -1. It does 1 damage. Oops, 1 damage. So that's good. Second attack. -1 again. Perfect. Got rid of that thing. And then now we're doing 3 versus 3. I'll spend a resource to go up to 4. We'll test 4 against the 3. And hopefully get it. Yeah, good draw. -4. Holy cow, this is going really poorly for us. Alright, so we're up to 6 resources again. There's no enemies out there. Perception. We're gonna have to use that. 1 doom. Back card. Ah, Manifestation of Madness. When Manifestation of Madness attacks you. Oh wait, I'm sorry. I forgot to do this. When you defeat this skittering nonsense, shuffle the top card of the Takali Daily deck into your deck without looking at it. So, there's sleeve. Shuffle that bad boy in. Without looking at it. We got one of the bad cards. Oh, good. Alright. So when Manifestation of Madness attacks you, shuffle the top 2 cards of that deck into your deck without looking at them. This thing's it's a 3/3/3. Ooh. Don't like that. Don't like that. So I kind of need to fight this, right? So it's a 3 swinging against my 4. I basically need to do all the damage. So let's do overpower right off the bat. So we're doing 4, 5, 6 against 3. -1 succeeds, so we get to draw a card. Eye of Chaos. Do 1 damage to this bad boy. Alright, so Eye of Chaos lets us investigate using willpower instead, which is nice. Perception. We could use one of our dragon poles because we don't need both of them. So I think we're going to do that. I think we're going to throw away a dragon pole just so we're swinging with 5 now versus it's 3. -1. Another damage. Last one. We got to take this thing out, right? Can't let it attack us. We're doing 4 against its 3. Frost token. That's no good. That's really bad. -3. For each point you fail, discard the top card of your deck. So we failed by 3. So 1, 2, 3. Ugh. Oh, okay. Yeah, we might actually... I know we were joking about this, like resigning, but... Vask Tech. First off, April, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Vask Tech. Not 100% sure what you mean. But let us... But yeah, so I know we kind of joked in the beginning of you know, only exploring like cool places, but that might be where it ends up going. Unfortunately. Alright, so next stage, we get attacked. So it's a 1/1 damage. Amy, unfortunately, is going to get both of them. We don't want her to die, but we do need her to take some stuff. All right, so we got that. We can now refresh, so we set up all of our stuff. Sweet. This goes up to 7. Draw a card, and it's a weakness. You must either choose one. Flip a discipline you control to its broken side. It cannot flip back this round or take 1 damage and 1 horror. I think I'm going to actually take damage in the horror. We're still doing okay, I think, right now with that. And we could put more horror on Amy moving forward. So I'm not too worried about that, I guess, yet. So. Okay. We get 2 onto that. And we get another enemy. Come on. Oh, and I never even put this. It attacked you. So I get to put those things in my my deck. What is it? 2 of them? Top 2 cards. Alright, so we're getting attacked by a lot. Which is not great. Shuffle that up in 1 second. I am legit like thinking like I need to resign. I'm not even 100% sure how I'm going to defeat both these things. I'm not. No way. Ah, jeez. I feel like it's already going really poorly for me. We'll get there. We'll get there, team. All right. We have a lot of weaknesses and treachery cards in there, so that's super exciting. Let's go. So, what we can do is straight up attack against this 3. We're swinging with 4. And that's just what it's going to be. 4 versus the 3. We're going to hope this hits. Yeah. Fail. Fail, fail, fail. Okay, so we're going to attack the other one now. And we're going to use Spectral Razor. So we will use 2 resources for this. We add our, what is that, willpower? Willpower to your skill value for this attack. Immediately before this attack, you may engage the attacked enemy. This attack deals +1 damage, +2 if the enemy is non-elite. So it's non-elite. So we're going to be able to hit for 3. It's 4 plus a 4, so it's 8. Minus 1. 3 damage. Takes that thing out. Alright. We have 1 turn left. The question is, we can't get rid of Dragon Pole, right? You gotta hold on to that. I'm almost thinking we play it and we just get hit. I think that's what we're gonna do. Well, it's gonna be an attack of opportunity, right? So we can't just play that. I think that would be attack of opportunity. We can heal damage from healing wounds. So let's just try to hit it. 4 versus 3. That's 2, of course. Fail. Fail, 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 fail. So, enemy's turn. Does 1 damage, 1 horror. We're going to put the 1 horror onto Dr. Amy, and we get 1 damage. Now, it attacks you, so we take the top 2 cards of this deck. We shuffle these in here. This is going great with this. Let me tell you. There's 1. Can't wait to start drawing all these cards. I'm sure it's gonna be great. All right, that's the enemy. Now we refresh. Goes over. This goes up to 6 resources. Draw a card. Clairvoyance. All right, cool. Cool, cool, cool. 3 Doom. Onto that. Back card. Polar Vortex. Attached to your location. When you end your turn at attached location, each card you control with health, including your investigator, takes 1 direct damage. At the end of the round, discard it. Okay. Why not? So. I mean, let's just attack, right? We gotta be able to hit this once. Success. Thank goodness. We would have been able to flip that, but we can't. So we succeed with that. That's our one turn. We need to investigate and like get out of that location for sure. So we're gonna do a perception card as well. So we're doing 3, 4, 5 versus 3. We're gonna actually use one of our resources. So we're now Shroud 3 versus our, like I said, we have 3 willpower or 3 knowledge, 4, 5, 6 versus 3. Surely we can do this. As one, perfect. Successful, draw a card. Beat cop. Cool. So we get this. We need to move out of that location. So we are going to move. Our goal is to go here, but we can't go through the ice. So we're testing 3 against 2. Don't fail this. Oh my gosh. So we fail that, which is terrible. We cancel the effects of the move. We take 1 damage, 1 horror. I'm going to let her take the horror. Oh no, wait, because yeah. Take the horror. And she's going to take the damage. The reason being, Dr. Kensler is taken out, which is no good. Because now that I'm here, when you end your turn attached location, it takes 1 direct damage. Which is terrible. Alright. Cool. Let me get rid of that card. Problem is I'm stuck on this one ice spot because I can't get back with my cool penguins. Alright. Extra resource. Draw a card. There's no enemies or anything. Got a machete, so that's fun. This goes up to 4. Attached to the nearest location without a copy of Antarctic Wind. Investigators at attached location cannot play cards or draw cards from their deck. Okay, that's fine. So we're trying here again. -2, so we fail. Oh, we're supposed to discard this. Okay, we already went through the item. So, my bad. Take that back. I shouldn't have even done this a second time. Oh man, that would have changed a lot. Alright, whatever. We'll do the 1 action. We'll move there. We only have 2 clues, so we can't go here. There's also 4, so we have to keep moving. We'll go, I guess, here? So next move will be here. And then we'll get, let's get some cards out. Where's the heal card? That's what I want. Healing wounds. We're going to put that into play. Cost 2. Has 3 charges on it, which is great. Lets us heal 1 wound if we get to that point. Alright. No enemies. Still doing alright. Hanging in there. Doing okay. 5 resources we're up to. Draw a card. Man, there's a lot of treachery cards in there. I don't know where they are. We're at 5 out of 7 doom now. Bad card. Put 0 visibility in the play in your threat area. As an additional cost for you to leave a location with a treachery attached to it, you must spend 1 action. Then in return, test 2. See if we can discard it. Alright, so that's with a treachery card. So that's the only one with a treachery. Oh, at the end of the round, we're supposed to discard that. So we'll see how this affects. Alright. We have 1 arcane card, which is pretty good. I kind of want to put clairvoyance into play, so I think I'm going to. So I'm going to use both 3, 4. Clairvoyance comes in with 3 charges. This lets us investigate using willpower instead of intellect, which is huge. Plus, we can get more clues. So that's that. I think we're doing all right now with that. So let's move for a second action. We're going to go to Precarious Ice Sheet. The ice sheet was very thin, with dark ground here and there visible. It's the 4 shroud. Holy cow. Also, I forgot to mention we got the green soap. So we'll look into that in a little bit. When you draw a hazard treachery while on this, add 1 frost token to the chaos bag. Cancel that card's effect and discard it. Interesting. So we can discard treacheries, which could be good. So it's a 4 shroud versus my like 3. So what do we need? We only need 1 clue to get there. I think we spend the 1 clue that we have. We spend the 1 clue. We're just gonna go here. We're not even gonna bother trying with this. All right. So Icy Waters, 2 shroud 2. Treat the modifier the first frost token revealed each turn as a -3 instead of -1. That stinks. So this is also a shelter 4. So the only problem is we're not getting enough clues. Cause like this needs a 4, this needs a 2. We're gonna be able to get up to like a 3, which isn't great. All right, where's my card? So I'm in Icy Waters. Going Shroud 2. What we're gonna do is we're gonna use Clairvoyance. So we spend a charge, which allows us to investigate using our willpower instead. So we're looking at a 4 against the 2. If you succeed, discover 1 additional clue at this location. If it's the automatic success +1 or a 0 token is revealed during this location, take 1 horror. So we can't get a good one. So this is our last action. Tomb is -3 for each point you fail. So what was it? 2? Oh my gosh, I did fail, didn't I? Because it was only 4. Yeah, so I failed by 1. Discard the top card of your deck. Second one. Okay. All right, that stinks, but we can do that next round. We'll do another Clairvoyance. We'll do something to make sure we get that right. Okay. Okay. So we're reset. We're good. We'll get another resource, which is good. Draw a card. Not a weakness still, which is amazing that that's worked out. This is now up to 6, so we're gonna be flipping this soon. So we might have to just pop into like this boat and hope for the best. Back card. Treachery. Place 1 doom on the current agenda. This effect can cause it to advance, which it does. So that's 7 advances. All right, let's see what it has to say. These things, these manifestations, they're not beasts or even alien creatures like those Dyer and Danforth encountered in the last expedition. You're not even sure they are entities at all. They have no shape, consisting of almost protoplasmic substances that seeps back into the ice when harmed or whenever you escape their clutches. Given the persistence of these entities and the inclement deadly conditions of Antarctica, you know you won't survive the night without finding shelter. Just as you're pondering what your next move should be, the ice beneath you rumbles and a tremendous force lets out a terrifying groan. An earthquake? One of your party asks. No, that's impossible. You share a dreadful glance. Could it be one of those things? Spawn the set aside. Terror of the star's enemy revealed location with the highest shelter value. So, that's actually here. So it is a hunter. It gets +3 health per hero. While it's ready, investigators cannot resign at its location or discover clues at its location. So that thing is terrifying. It's going to slowly move to us. So we will have to deal with that. All right, so this is the sun hangs low in the sky but never sets. Your party is exhausted from the long, arduous day. Through the sky is never plunged in the dark of night. You know it's only a matter of time before you are forced to make camp. All right, so I'm thinking we gotta hustle and get her one thing over there. That's what we gotta do. So what we're going to do is for our first turn, we are going to use another clairvoyant. All right, so investigate using what is that? Willpower instead. So our willpower is 4. I'm going to use this, so it's up to 5, and I'm going to throw away a resource, so it's at 6. So 6 versus 2. Wow. Drew a -4. Thank goodness. So I succeeded. Since I used this skill card, I heal 1 horror, which is cool. And I get 2. So we got 2 additional clues. Or 1 additional clue, sorry. So next thing is we're going to move on to the boat. This icebreaker landing thing. Shelter 5. Cost 2 to get onto there. And oops, use 2. So here's the thing. Parlay, test 4 intellect to search the trap ship for supplies. If you succeed, either remove 1 frost token from the chaos bag or record small radio in the supplies recovered section of the campaign log. So here's the thing. We have the soap thing, right? All we had to do was just get it. That was the only thing we did because we never did that. So we have soap. I feel like we want the small radio, right? I feel like that's the thing you definitely want. So I'm almost thinking, let's test the book. Right, let's test it. Because we could do 3. We could do another resource, which is 4. And we do 5, 6. I'm thinking we do that. I'm thinking we test and then we resign. Alright, we have to use another action. We have to make another turn. So I think that's what we're going to do. So we are doing knowledge or intellect of 3, 4, 5, 6 against a 4. Come on. 0. Perfect. I'm going to take the radio. I'm going to take that radio. Enemies. Terror in the stars moves slightly closer. He is hunting us. We refresh all of our stuff. Get 1. I'm thinking we resign. Clarity of mind. That gets a 1. Back card. Glacier Phantasm. At the end of the enemy phase, if Glacier Phantasm is ready, move it once toward the location with the most investigators. In play order, each investigator at Glacier Phantasm location or a connecting location shuffles the top card. Ooh. Alright. So that's technically in our player. But that's at the end of the enemy phase, so we don't have to worry about that. So we can just resign, right? Each investigator is at the same location. That location has no clues. Shoot. Shoot. We gotta fight this thing. We gotta fight this thing and kill it. This is not the situation I thought I would be in. I'm not gonna lie. This is interesting. At the end of the enemy phase, if it's ready, move it once toward the location with the most investigators. In player order, each investigator at the or connecting location shuffles the top card of that deck. Ugh. Yeah, we gotta fight this, but we're swinging 4 against its 4, which is like not great. So what we're actually gonna do is first we're gonna get a resource. Second, we're gonna get another resource, so we're up to 3. And third, we're going to use all 3 of them. Oops. To get the Dragon Pole. Because that's going to let us do more damage. And we're just going to take some hits. We're going to take the hits and just call it on that. Alright, so he moves. We get another one of these bad cards, which is great. Then we get 1 damage. 1 horror, which is alright. We're still doing okay. Damage and 1 horror. This bad boy is moving towards us ever slowly. Game's gonna be closer than I thought it was gonna be. Wait, no, what's this going to? This is going there. Okay. This goes up to... Oh, wait. We got to refresh. That's what we do. Draw a card. Spawn on a treachery. That's amazing right now. Get one of them. Let's go up to 2. High card. Test willpower, where X is your location shelter. If you fail, you decide to do a bunch of different stuff. So we have 4 against our 5. We're going to fail. There's -2. So it's 1 versus a 5. We're going to just place 2 clues on our location. Gonna make it harder to resign. We'll figure it out. Holy cow. Okay. This is getting a little more tough than I thought it would be at the very end here. So we gotta fight. We're gonna fight with this dragon pole. We're gonna do some damage. So we get +1 attack. We have 2 arcane slots filled, which is nice, right? Just make sure. Okay. So we have 2 arcane slots filled. So we're swinging at 1 higher. So we're swinging at 5 and we can do 2 damage. So we can actually take this thing out. We're smart. So we're swinging 5 against a 4. I am throwing away another 1. So we're swinging 6 against 4 right now. Do 2 damage. Whew. That was good. 2 damage. Go that way. Let's do it again. We're throwing away the machete. Same thing. 6 against 4. One more time. Give it to me. There it is. Damage done. Damage done. Give it to me. Alright. So now we got to start looking at clues. So we need to do clairvoyance. So clairvoyance is what we're going to use. So we investigate using willpower. Or intellect, I'm sorry. Oh, no, yeah, willpower, I'm sorry. Willpower 4 versus a shred of 2. And if you succeed, we get 1 additional clue. 4 versus 2. -2. Perfect. You got 2 clues. 1. 2. We actually might have enough clues to go into this lake, which almost makes me want to draw it. I'm not gonna lie. Almost. Actually, he would have moved here. This would have been the shorter distance. All right. The problem is, the bad boy is up here. It is coming after us hard and strong. We get a resource. Bad card. Flip a discipline you control its broken side. Cannot be flipped back. Take 1 damage and 1 horror. I'm gonna take 1 damage, 1 horror. I actually need this book. I need it. Alright, so that was a bad draw, but that's what it is. That goes up to 3. Here we go. Bad card. Oh my gosh. Manifestations of Madness is engaged with us. This is not ideal. I'm not gonna lie. Problem is, we can't even really take it out that fast. And that Terror of the Stars is just gonna come after us hard. It's gonna come after us real hard. I'm a little worried. I'm not gonna lie. So I'm thinking, if you have fewer than 5 cards in your hand, draw until there are 5. So I can draw 2 cards if I really want to. Ugh. I don't know. This is tough. The problem is, I think, technically, since all the uses are gone, this is no longer in my hand. I'm not sure if you can decide when it goes out or not. I don't know if anyone in chat happens to know that. But when you have an asset card, do you decide when it leaves, or does it leave when it's out of charges? Let's see. That doesn't say. Look up asset cards. 4. The reason that's important is because I can kill this guy in 2 turns then with it. Alright, so generally they stay in play. When you play an asset, it is placed in your player. Generally, assets remain in play unless discarded by a card, ability, or game step. I guess if you want to, right? You can just discard your cards. I'm not 100% sure on that. I'm going to say I keep it, and I will discard it when I feel like it. Because, you know what? I need all the help I can get. So we are attacking for 5 against this 3 right now. We're going to hopefully hit. We're at +2. Automatic fail. Try again. +2. That's... Okay, we're good. 2 damage. I didn't know you all could see that. There we go. +2. We'll do it once more. Once more. -1. Alright. Took him out at least. Something. Still not where we really need to be, unfortunately. Actually, I think we're going to technically die. Because he's going to attack us for 2. And then never healed. So I actually... Wait, I need to think about this for a second. Oh, no, I'm going to die. The first scenario. Because I can't resign when there was clues on the thing. I should just resign at this place down here when I had the chance. Because what's going to happen is he's going to come after us. There's 2, 2. So, oops, 7. 5, 6. All right, we're technically dead. So let's see what that means. Let's see what that means. All right, so if no resolution was reached, because it wasn't, oh my gosh, no amount of preparation could have made your journey through ice and cold any easier. Your months of training before the expedition kicked in the moment you became stranded, and you were able to scavenge some supplies while you search for a safe place the rest of the night. But your thoughts keep returning to the sight of the thing that made your plane crash, the horrifying abominations that pursued you through your snowy wastes, and the sound, that awful sound, that cry. You almost wish you could have robbed your senses altogether so to spare you from the cry that now haunts your every waking moment. As exhilaration settles in, exhaustion, settles in, and you drift to sleep, still the sound that echoes through your thoughts over and over. Takali Lee. Choose a location and play with no clues on it. In your campaign log, write camp blank, and next to it, record that location's name. This location is referred to as the investigator's camp for the remainder of Ice and Death. Okay. So we're gonna choose Snowgrave's camp. Record the camp's shelter value in the parentheses next to its name, which is 5. Each investigator adds experience to the camp's shelter value to a minimum 3, plus the victory in the victory display. So we get 5 points. Proceed to checkpoint 1, the disappearance. Do not clean up the game yet. Oh boy. So checkpoint 1, the disappearance. Your sleep is anything but pleasant. The maddening cold bites at your flesh, and the ever-howling wind plays tricks on your mind, conjuring images of misshapen inky forms bursting out of the ground and rendering your party whole. Just as you finally begin to leave such horrid thoughts behind. Alright, sorry. Your rest is shattered by a startling cry. You awaken to find your camp in shambles and several of your companions missing. To your dismay, footsteps lead away from the relative safety of your camp and into the frozen wilds beyond. Find and gather the story assets corresponding to the surviving members of the expedition team. Shuffle them and randomly select the number of players equal to your camp shelter value. Those characters are safe. If the surviving members of the expedition team is safe, proceed to disappearance 2. So the rest of the team went missing in the middle of the night. So hold on. Find and gather the story assets corresponding to the surviving members of the expedition team. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess I don't think Amy's gone, right? So Amy. So finally shuffle them and randomly select a number of them equal to your camp shelter value. Those are safe. Alright, hold on. That's a weird way of doing this. This doesn't make 100% sense. Find and gather the story assets corresponding to the surviving members of the expedition team. So that's everyone but the Kato, or whatever her name is in the beginning. Shuffle them randomly and select a number of them equal to your camp shelter values. Those are safe. So I have 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all 5 of these 3. There's 3 that are not, essentially. If every surviving member of the expedition team is safe, but they're not, right? I mean, there's no way you do it, I guess, unless you had 8. That's only a 7. Oh, now I'm curious. That's a 6. Oh, that's an 8. Maybe that's what we were supposed to go for then. So these people are safe. Alright, so the rest of the expedition team went missing in the night. In the expedition team section of the log, write MIA next to the characters who went missing. So Dr. Amy Kensler, Avery Poole, and Cookie. The investigator must decide. Choose one. They're on their own. You will skip to the next part of the scenario, proceed to disappearance 2, or go after them. You will play the next scenario part of the scenario. Skip to disappearance 3 if you wish to do so immediately, or disappearance 4 if you wish to take a break and proceed the next time you play. I'm probably going to do it the next time I play. Alright, so we just clean up the game and we do next. These are people who are missing, so I guess we're going to go after Avery Claypool, Dr. Amy Kensler, and James Cookie Hendricks. Alright, so that's it. And then the next section basically is Ice and Death Part 2. So we go through that and whatnot. So that's interesting. That was a long... Well, it was only an hour and a half we went for. I gotta say, it was frustrating that the whole clue thing, it doubled up the clues. If that didn't happen with that treachery card, we would have been able to beat that, which stinks. It should have stayed there. Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I'll give it credit. I like the sprawl out map. There was just so much reading in the beginning there. I felt like we read for like an hour in the beginning. Lily is still good. I like her. I'm actually pretty happy with this deck, the way I built this so far. I think the way I built this is right. I think it's a good way to do it right now. So I'm pretty happy with that. But yeah, it was decent first scenario. We'll see how the next ones go and whatnot. So yeah, I appreciate y'all stopping by. So moving forward, for this week's streaming, Monday I'm streaming with the Living Card Gamer. We're doing Lord of the Rings, so I have to build a deck for him. But we're streaming that, so that'll be fun. We'll be over on his channel on Twitch, so make sure you check that out. Tuesday, I'm playing the last scenario in Overhill and Underhill, the Hobbit box for Lord of the Rings. And then Wednesday, we're playing Marvel Champions. And then I'm not streaming again until Sunday once again. I won't be on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So next Sunday, I'll be doing the next scenario of this, which I'm excited for. Ice and Death Part 2. That'll be fun. That'll be good. I'm hoping in the next week or so that I actually am able to stream during the day. I would like to try to do that once or twice. So I'm not sure when that will be. So make sure you have notifications turned on to my channel so you'll know, or follow me on Instagram because I'll let people know on there too. But yeah, that was a decent first scenario. It was pretty good. I'm not blown away or anything yet. I think it was fine. It's a good setup. Interesting enough. And we'll see where the game takes us. So I appreciate you all taking the time to be here and hang out. And I will see you all next time. Take care.